It's time to enter the world of real estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen and get ready to take notes. For the next full hour, Hawaii's premier real estate leader, Adrienne Lally, and Attilio Leonardi will bring you the latest in real estate news and real-world strategies on how they can guarantee to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, or they'll buy it. Now, here are your hosts, Adrienne and Attilio.
Welcome to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. If you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or check us out on the web at teamlally.com.
All right. Hey, everybody. This is Attilio. And real quick, friendly reminder, nothing that we say on the show should be deemed as tax or legal advice. Boom. Disclaimer out of the way. What I wanted to talk to you about, so this is for you that are just tuning in. At the beginning of the top of the show, we talk about a life coaching moment. And here is one for you. We talked about it in our, by the way, I'm going to share this with you and where I got this information. And I'm going to talk a little bit about cadence of accountability. There's a book called The 4 Disciplines of Execution. And everything in life is about, we have all the information that we need to be successful. But where's the gap, Adrienne?
Well, it's in the action.
It's in the action. It's in the execution. So I highly recommend the book called 4 Disciplines of Execution. And there's 4 things that you need to do to execute on. I'm only going to give you one because you got to go read the book. And one of them is create a cadence of accountability. So if you have a sales team or an organization, you should be meeting on a regular basis to create what we call a cadence of accountability. So every morning on our team, to better serve our clients that want to buy or sell a home with us or invest, we have a morning huddle, and we record it on Zoom, and it's at 8:45 to 9 o'clock every morning. Somebody on our team is responsible for teaching something to the rest of the group. And what's important about teaching something?
Well, when you teach it, then you obviously are going to be an expert, or you're going to learn more about that particular topic that you're teaching. Yeah,
nothing like teaching something that holds yourself to a higher level of accountability to knowing that topic, right? Because nobody wants to look like a ding-dong. Right,
especially when it's being recorded.
Yeah. So, unless it's going to our blooper reel, then it's okay to be a ding dong because then you go on our blooper reel.
We got lots of bloopers
and end up on our career blog, and people can watch it and it's there forever. So this is what we talked about this morning: pain versus pleasure. What do we know about pain versus pleasure as far as human beings, Adrienne? Which one of those motivates people? Just
people,
naturally.
They will naturally, I would say like 95% of us will move away from pain and towards pleasure.
And so here's the deal, and I'll give you an example. Losing weight, right? The pain of losing weight is the exercise and changing diet and not changing and I don't say diet as in it's just changing your calorie intake and your calorie outtake. So, but when
your eating habits.
But when you exercise for the first time, is that painful?
Yes.
Yeah. So
it's painful for another couple of days even afterwards.
It's painful, but then what really motivates us and how we know is that doesn't demotivate people to go do it. What really motivates people if they have a situation where they're overweight is when they have that massive heart attack. Is that a lot of pain?
Yeah, I mean it could be, you could die from it.
So
extremely painful.
So the daily pleasure of that feeling that we get from exercise, of eating right and having high energy, it's not enough motivation. And unfortunately, we have to have that pain. So here is, if you're in an organization or you're trying to relate to people and this is the human condition, the human nature, that we're much more motivated by moving away from pain and not so much motivated by moving to pleasure. 2 things you want to do when having a conversation with people. Number 1, you want to identify what is their pain. If you're in sales, you're trying to figure out, is my product or service providing a solution to their pain? And you want to identify that and incorporate that into the conversation. Now, the second thing you got to do is you got to establish a relationship with the people. Because very rarely, unless you're a completely extroverted person, do you just open up to somebody that you just met. So most of us are not going to open up with the pain, so you got to go through some rapport building techniques and strategies. And maybe we'll talk about that on the next show.
The form or the forward.
There is your highly packed life coaching moment for today's show.
And I have some quotes.
Okay, go ahead.
From Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Awesome.
Duke Kim Han sends these to us every day, keeping us motivated.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the first quote is from Jody Victor. The secret of success is hidden in your daily routine. It's funny how we were just talking about habits and so forth, and the quotes just tie right in beautifully. All right, this next one is from Carl Relands. In about the same degree as you are helpful, you will be happy.
So if you're not feeling happy, get out there and help somebody.
That's right.
When we serve, when we're serving and being gracious and kind, it's hard to be bummed.
And then the last one is from Mike Murdoch. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily.
Daily habits.
They're so important.
Zig Ziglar talks about it. You're never going to make some major change overnight, but you can make a small one. And those small ones add up to the big change.
That's right.
Daily habits. All right, there you go. Speaking of daily habits.
We've got Janice on the line from Dreamhouse Drafting.
Hi, Janice.
With her tip of the week.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
What do you got for us this week?
Well, construction is booming here in Hawaii, and my recommendation is if you are not the original owner of your home, that perhaps in counting the cost of what your renovation's going to cost or your remodel and design, perhaps you should also plan on doing an assessment of your home's construction history. This way you don't get any surprises in discovering that a certain area may or may not have been added with a building permit, in which case that portion would have to become part of your current expense load.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no one likes those surprises.
No, because sometimes they're quite costly.
Yes.
What for the layperson? What's some easy visual indicators that something may have been done to the home and maybe not be permitted? What are you looking for?
For the layperson, if you are strolling down a street and it just seems like the house is a little bit too close to the sidewalk, it's supposed to be at least 10 feet back. Obvious changes in building materials, types of windows, the slope of the roof being one particular type of roof, and then all of a sudden there's this flat roof added onto it, and at the far edge of the building, at the end of that flat roof, you kind of question whether tall people would be comfortable in there. That's another thing that would be a telltale giveaway. And then once you're walking around in a home, if it's an older single-wall construction home, and you can easily tell the difference between whether you're in a double-walled home with drywall and the type of finish. If you're an older single-wall construction home you're looking at, the decking boards when you look at the roof, open beam ceiling, and you turn the corner and you're in this super ultra-modern kitchen, and all the bathrooms have been totally upgraded, check and see. It may have a building permit. It's obvious that updating has taken place and that they don't match the age of the house, the bathrooms and the kitchen, but just double check.
Yeah, so if they have, nice vessel sinks with these really good fixtures in the bathroom, granite countertops and ceramic tile and really
subway
nice
tile that comes out of the tub and goes all the way across behind the vanity and the toilet, which is the current trend. That wasn't being done in the 70s, 60s, or 50s. So that would tell you this place has been updated.
And you have the avocado green shag carpet in the living room. There's a difference in what's going on with this home. And, things like hot tubs in the kitchen, those would be indications that you might want to bring in a professional.
So we recommend Janice as a professional. She can check it out and let you know if you need some updated permits or maybe after-the-fact permits.
And the
remodeling.
And the lay people I was referring to as realtors, too, because we don't know everything. And then, so instead of them, you're not going to go run around looking at, running around with a buyer and a client looking at the 10 homes with them and sitting in the car with them all day. But these indications are what would be probably the reasons why they'd want to give you a call and just to give them that peace of mind with your ability to go in and determine what's permitted or not. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Janice.
Thank you, Janice.
Okay. Take care.
All right. So you can give Janice a call at 206-7107 or check her out online at dreamhousedrafting.com.
All right. Next up, we got Jody, the mortgage genius. Jody, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. What you got for us this week?
Oh, well, It's the moment we've all been talking about, and it's not. I want to say, okay, we have a new Fed chairman. Previously, Janet Yellen. Now, Jerome Powell. Janet could have been more, I guess, politically speaking, categorized as a dove. So, you know, wanting to keep interest rates low so that people can become homeowners, so that people keep spending money and the economy keeps bustling. And, right, that's her kind of, I guess, thought process, her belief system. And then Jerome Powell is a little bit more like a hawk. So he was nominated by Mr. Trump, and he has taken over. I think today's his third day, and we have seen a massive, massive impact on the market, not just the market, the stock, not just the stock market, but interest rates. The 10-year Treasury bill is at up to 2.88, which is the highest it's been in the past 4 years. Also, interest rates have moved over probably about 0.5% in the past 3 days, which is obviously traumatic.
Yes.
So, you know, the 0.5% that translate that into, like, I'm qualified for $550 at this interest rate, and then it goes up by 0.5%. How much?
So now what are they qualified for?
Now, is there like a 0.5% translates to $50,000 or?
Ballpark, let's see, just on the spot. I mean, it's upwards of 100,000.
So 100,000.
Wow.
So would you say that if people procrastinate, they're just going to end up paying more for a home? Even if the home price didn't go up, they're going to qualify for less.
Right.
Yeah.
And I for anyone who is in escrow that, you know, they don't know if they're locked in or not, I would say you got to make that phone call right now.
Yeah.
And for anyone that was thinking about getting into the market and now they're feeling a little bit discouraged, I would still say, again, yes, 0.5% is a lot. If we were talking about 3.875, and now we're talking about 3.75, 4.5. Some of the conventional scenarios where you're putting 5 and 10% down, we might be more like 4.5, 4.75. I know it sounds scary, but again, if we pull up a chart of the past 40 years, it's still great. It's not 3%.
Yeah.
But it's also not 6.5.
Yeah.
So I just feel
it's still a great time to get into the market. Interest rates are still low. They're just not as low as they once were.
Yes. So I know it's discouraging, but
well, we talked about it in the beginning of the show in the life coaching moment: pain versus pleasure. And if you have a product or service, you're trying to do business with somebody or establish a relationship, you've got to have a pain versus pleasure dialogue and or script. So for the interest rates going up, here's the pain. You're going to qualify for less money and not necessarily get the home that you're dreaming of or wanting or have set a goal on, right? Is that the pain? And unfortunately, the pleasure of low interest rates doesn't motivate people to go stop procrastinating and will do it. So maybe the potential pain, as you described, I mean, Donald Trump being president, that's kind of painful. And the people he brings on board, we're all on pins and needles with whatever he's going to tweet out, and it has an effect on that interest rate and what's going on there. So are you saying people should just...
They should just get in now before the interest rates continue to rise.
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, it's a great time. Great time to get into the market.
Got to move now. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
You're welcome.
All right, that was Jody Tonga, the mortgage genius with Pacific Rim Mortgage. You can give them a call at 488-5510. Check her out online at pacrimmtg.com.
All right, next up we got Duke. Duke, are you there?
Hi, good afternoon.
Hello.
All right. What you got for us this week?
Tip of the week is don't underestimate termite damage.
Termite damage.
Termite damage is so huge, and most of the time you only see the little tip of the iceberg sticking out above the water.
Yeah.
And that is a little hole or some termite droppings.
Yes.
So I always advise owners to get on termite damage ASAP. And that's, just by saying I want a termite tent in my house is not that easy, because you got to move your tenants out, and then you have to hopefully have them bag up all their perishables, and then they have to leave the house for 24 to 36 hours, and then you have to let them back in.
Yeah.
So for the tenants in your home, the best time to do it is when it's vacant.
Yeah, the
Because
transition.
it is
Yeah.
huge, big mess for the tenants.
Yeah.
And you got to find them a place to stay.
So, Duke, are you dealing with that right now with a tenant that's having to be misplaced due to a termite tenting?
So many homes that we manage
Yeah.
have termite damage in them. And I will tell you that for the most part, the owners, they're concerned, but they're not freaking out.
Yeah.
So for me, if I had termite damage in my house, I'd be freaking out, because termites can eat up to 5 pounds of wood a month.
So let's talk about the pain versus pleasure. I'm just going to incorporate that into everything today. The pleasure is that they should get it inspected and get it taken care of and just do the right thing. The pain is that when it's just creating some serious damage, because you guys will probably bring it to their attention at the 3 or 6 month walkthrough, right? You'll probably notice it, because tenants, they don't like, oh yeah, you know what? I think with the place we're renting has termites. Can you come and fumigate the whole home and put us up somewhere else and totally disrupt our lives? Could you do that for us? The tenants aren't doing that.
Highly unlikely.
Because they're avoiding what?
Yeah.
The pain of
They're
moving,
avoiding pain.
being disrupted.
Painful.
Yeah.
So it's better to avoid that pain by having you guys, taking your guys' recommendations, having a professional property management company like you guys. Now, you guys aren't professional inspectors, but you guys are in the industry, and you can kind of probably recognize it. And
if there's issues, you can bring them to
make a
the
recommendation.
attention. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're on it right away.
Yeah.
And then it's just a matter of the reaction time. Most of that it's financial, but to tell you the truth, to tent your home is still very, very reasonable.
Yeah.
The fees to tent a home, an average home, is about $1,000.
Yeah.
And that is just so reasonable.
Yeah. The other thing, too, because the vendor we always recommend is Kilauea Pest Control, and they do have they'll make a recommendation. They're not going to do it and not guarantee it, but they can do spot treatments too if it's possible.
Yep.
And then the inspections, just to to make sure that you're on top of the termites.
Yeah.
And or bugs.
Yeah,
owning a home requires so much maintenance and attention to detail. But a lot of times people are living off the island. That's why they depend on us.
Yeah.
Do the walkthroughs, to monitor the home, to collect rent, to vet the tenants, and to most of all protect the home.
Yeah, and I think it's something crazy. The more termite damage occurs in the state of Hawaii than like with the fire and the rain and the flood and hurricanes. There's more termite damage than all of those combined. It just you don't see some dramatic weather report regarding termites. And today in Kalihi, there's a massive termite outbreak. Winds are up to 50 miles per hour.
There's 2 types of termites too.
Yeah,
right?
the ground.
The ground, and then there's the wood, the flying termite.
Yeah, aerial.
So there's I don't know. I just can't say enough to people who blow it off and say they're going to get to it later.
Yeah.
Or we'll wait till the tenant vacates and then tent the house.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
By that time, you're going to have to fix. Yeah, you're going to have to
all
fix
these repairs.
a whole lot of.
There might not be much of a house to tent at that point.
The termites will get tired of holding their hands together, which is keeping the home together. All right, thanks, Duke.
I had
go ahead.
Yeah, I had
go
real
ahead.
quick. I had a guy who kind of blew it off when he left.
Yeah.
Gave us the house with termites in it. We put people in. 1 year later, the people complained because there's so much termite droppings, and the termites had eaten completely through his cabinets.
Oh.
All of it.
Yeah, and if the tenants bring in furniture, it might go to their furniture. Then you got some liability too,
so
right?
When the tenants moved out, he went back in. We tented the house. He had to rip out all of his cabinets, and $8,000 later,
Holy
his cabinets. He could have took care of it the year before.
Yeah.
And his cabinets would have been fine.
Pain.
Yep, $8,000. He's lucky that's all it was.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Anyway.
Duke.
Thank you, Duke.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right.
All right, so you
remember
can.
Duke, he's got the rent guarantee, which is
right.
what?
So basically, if you can't get your home rented in 30 days at the agreed upon rental price, he'll pay the rent.
And him and his team are really good at helping you avoid the pain of ownership.
That's right. So give them a call at 445-9223. That's 445-9223. Or check them out online at hipacificpm.com. All right, so I think we've got our body language tip of the week from RB Kelly, the body language boss.
Hi, Adrian. Hi, Attilio. I'm so happy to be here. Now, this week, my tip is actually for those of you who have kids. So if you're evaluating a realtor or a broker or a client, whoever you're looking at, ask your kids what they think. And if your kids are under the age of 8, here's how you can phrase the question and see what they really think. You ask them if this person would be a good captain of their ship. And you explain that the captain of the ship, they have to be able to find danger and take care and lead everyone, and that they also have to take care of everyone on board. And the Science of People found that when you asked kids these questions about pictures of electoral candidates in different countries, the kids almost always chose the person who was eventually elected.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, when you are looking at someone to come into your home or someone to choose as a client, you want the best. And so you want someone you can respect, someone you can trust. And if you ask your kids which is the better captain, usually they always come up with the best answer.
So the kids have that intuition, that childlike intuition, just to know.
Absolutely. Well, we all have that in us. We all naturally read and code the body language, but most of us are used to not listening to our intuition, whereas kids are usually closer to the source.
Got it. Very helpful.
Well, that's my tip of the week. Thank you. See you next week.
All right. That's always awesome. Good stuff.
Yes, and you can find RB Kelly at thebodylanguageboss.com. She's also all over social media, and she does, classes and masterminds. So I think she's going to be out in Kapolei here soon with us.
Okay. Hey, we're about to take a break, but stay with us. When we come back, we'll be talking with Jason Tom, Hawaii's human beatbox, who will talk to us about his unique style mixes of old and new school beatboxing. Stay with us.
Hey, Honolulu, it's Gary LaVox of Rascal Flats. I'm moving on. When I'm Moving On won the award for ACM Song of the Year, it struck a chord with folks who understand the challenges that come with life's big changes. For many, that happens when it comes time to sell their home. If you're moving on, you want a real estate agent who will make selling your home easy and stress-free. An agent who's willing to let you out of the contract if you're not happy with their service. That's why in Honolulu, I can tell you that Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally market your home on a whole different level. In fact, Adrian and Attilio are so confident in their ability to sell your home quickly and for more money that they will guarantee to sell it or they will buy it. So, if you're moving on, trust Adrian and Attilio to provide your family a stress-free home sale experience. Find Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi online at HawaiianCountryAgent.com or call them at 808-799-9596. And start packing.
Team Lally of Keller Williams, Honolulu, RD21303.
Hi, I'm Barbara Corcoran. To sell your home on time for the most money, you need a sharp agent with a marketing strategy that creates the most demand. Bottom line, you need a partner willing to put their own money on the line for you.
In Hawaii, I would hire Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi. Their marketing strategy is so effective that if your home doesn't sell on terms you agree to, Team Lally will buy it.
Partner with the team I trust. Go online or call and get your home sold.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity, and as you know, I am not afraid to be honest and say exactly what I feel. When it comes to selling your home, you need to know there are real estate agents out there that just rely on yard signs, and a few $100s in marketing. Now, I'm going to make this very easy for you and tell you about a team of real estate agents whose marketing plan is in a whole different league than anyone else you will talk to. I'm talking about Adrian Lally and Attilio Leonardi of Team Lally Real Estate Group of Keller Williams, Honolulu. Now, Adrian and Attilio spend thousands of dollars every month and attract hundreds of buyers every week. Now, because of that, if they can't sell your home at a price and deadline that you agree to, they will buy your home. Real estate mogul and Shark Tank star Barbara Corcoran only recommends Team Lally in Hawaii. And if I needed to sell a home in Hawaii, I would call Team Lally. Call Team Lally now at 799-9596. Online at 808-GuaranteedSale.com. That's 808-GuaranteedSale.com. And consider your home sold.
If you're looking for an outstanding insurance agent that will personally help you during the moment of truth, we recommend Bradley Maruyama with Allstate Insurance.
So, Attilio, what do you mean by the moment of truth?
Well, the best insurance is the insurance you never have to use. But we know that's not how life works. So when life happens, you can count on Bradley and his team to exceed your expectations for your insurance needs.
Keep in mind that when buying a home, the cost of home insurance should be taken into consideration. I trust Bradley with my own personal home, so you should give him a call. Call Bradley with Allstate Insurance at 591-8016.
The Team Lally Real Estate Show continues.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, you can reach us at 799-9596 or on the web at teamlally.com.
Hey, our guest today is an American professional beatboxer who reached 2.1 million unique individuals and households throughout our world.
TEDx presenter, high sessions musician, inspirational speaker, voice actor, host, mathematician, and moonwalker are just some of his many talents.
Here today to talk to us about his unique style mixes of old and new school beatboxing. Please welcome our guest today, Hawaii's human beatbox, Jason Tom.
Team Lally Radio Show.
All right. Leah, our producer's like, what's going on? There's this bed of music coming out of my mixing board that I don't have any control over. It's human beatboxing, right?
Yes, human beatbox. It started in the 80s and it just still taking off to this day worldwide, and it's incredible.
Now, the one that everybody, what was that? It was like
Buffy?
No. It was the guy, and he was singing about being
don't worry.
Yeah, that one.
That's Bobby Mcferrin.
Yeah.
Don't worry, be happy. So he's a jazz musician.
Yeah.
All a cappella, and he layered the music, and it's all from his voice. He did Bobby. Bill Cosby Show too?
Yeah. And then the other. Okay, so what I'm doing is like, Tony Robbins says, it's like beatboxing. So people are like, what is that? And then you just talk about stuff that people recognize.
Right.
The other one was
Michael Winslow.
No, the Police Academy.
Oh, yes.
Michael Winslow. Yes.
Oh, is that him?
So get this.
I didn't know what his name was.
Yes, Michael Winslow. So he played. He did all the sounds like. Right. So I just wrote to him on Facebook. He wrote back to me, and so we're friends. I opened for him when he came. Oh, really? Yeah, he came to Honolulu 2 times, and I opened for him both of those times, and it sold out.
So what? Like he's like what? He does like stand-up comedy, but he's got sound effects.
Yes, but he beatboxes too. But he does sound effects that daily sounds and whatnot, and he's just hilarious. For example, you go to the supermarket and you scan an object like a 10-pound chicken, free, and you do that. So it's hilarious.
Yeah, and then he'll do that with and then the Safeway cashier's going, wait, what?
Yeah, right. So he fakes them out and everything. So
that's funny.
So Jason, could you share with us and our listeners, how did you get involved in this beatboxing? What drew you to it?
So at the age of 4, at the age of 4, I grew up in the 80s and I recorded myself an audio cassette tape. So back in those days, that was our podcasting, right? Mm-hmm. So I would record myself and I'll do it to Michael Jackson's Bad. Bad, I'm bad, you know it, you know. At 4 years old, and my first sound was that inward snare. So you're taking a breath in and you're like clapping with your tongue. Mm-hmm. With the hi-hat kicks and then the melody with the rhythm. So that's how I started. And it started from just hearing the music and wanting to sing it. And so I wanted to play that music as I hear it in my head. And so I would record myself, play it back. So that's how it started, 1987. And from there, I just kept going. And at 8 years old, I would do the Adam's apple sound, right?
Wow.
So it's like a heartbeat. Right?
Yeah.
And then you put that together with the inward snare, you get a tom-tom. So it's like put it all together.
That must be fun when you do like health checkups. And the doctor's checking your heart rate.
Right. Say and then you do a sound.
I can imagine you as 4 years old and you're at home and your parents are trying to shut the radio off.
Right.
How come this radio don't go off?
It was interesting because back then I didn't realize it was a talent, right? Until like freshman year of high school. I would just do it at McKinley, and then I would just do it during classwork in English class, and then my classmate kept turning around. He kept hearing the sound and music, and so he said, "Is that a radio? Are you hiding a radio, or is that you?" So he found out it was me, and that's when I found out it was something unique. And then I saw this female on TV. Her name is Elaine Chow, and she rocked it beatboxing on the Showtime at the Apollo, and she tore it up. And I was like, that's what I got to do. I got to get on stage and present this. And then from that point, I was in 2003, and in 2004 was when I pursued it. And I had to get out of my comfort zone. You know, I grew up very introverted, very quiet. So when people are laughing at a funny movie, I'm staying quiet and stuff. But I had to develop and learn how to be extroverted, how to be more social. It didn't come easy. My first performance, 2004, was a talent show. It's a competition, stage fright. So I had to overcome stage fright, anxiety, and all that stuff. So but it's fun. I love it today, and I'm a people person, you know. So it just comes natural now because it allowed me to get out of my comfort zone. I had to force myself to, kind of like you said, pain or pleasure.
Pain or pleasure.
And you got to do things that is uncomfortable, and that's when we grow the most. It's when we do things that are uncomfortable. Like I used to play soccer and judo, so we had to learn how to push through the threshold. And I know you did cheerleading. Gymnastics. Olympics. And you trained with Dominic Dawes.
Yes.
I used to watch the Olympics during that time, too. Yeah. So, and Kamehameha School's where you graduated. That's,
thank you. They research.
Yep. They hit me up. Kamehameha School's amazing. I'm going to hit them up. I'm going to be on the show. So I'm going to send them an email and whatnot. So, I
think that pain, too, is like you're talking about it. I can go up here, and it's very important that I not be a mime beatboxer, you know, not making any sound because you're frozen up, right?
Right.
And so the pain is like being embarrassed because you're like, you get up there and you don't do it, so you push through.
Yeah.
And then the pleasure out of it is people laugh, they smile,
they enjoy.
The crowd, you can feel it, right? When the crowd's getting into it.
Like, I remember the first time I did it, I heard myself on a sound system. It's like you're talking into a microphone, and you're hearing your voice through a PA system. You're like, whoa, that's nerve. That's like, it's a lot magnified. So that was the freakish part. And then the first night that we met was actually downtown.
Yeah, the Buff Dragon or...
And then when I was performing, my lip was already sore. I think it was like, I don't know what happened, maybe over practice or something.
Yeah.
My lip was sore, but I was still going at it.
You couldn't tell. You're a true professional.
And even my jaw at one point, because I was hitting the snare so much.
Yeah.
And eventually, like, oh man, my jaw right here. But I put it part of the show.
Yeah.
To show them, hey, this is really happening. Because sometimes, that's why I recommended that we do a video, because it was like, people have to see it to believe it.
And to understand what it is.
Right.
What
and they've seen it.
Performing.
They see it and they hear it. And they're like, wait, was that really you? Or was that like a backing track that was playing and stuff? So I'm glad I started performing because I've traveled the world with it. I've been to China. You know, I did beatbox. I mean, I wasn't that known yet, but I was still doing it, you know. And then I would go to California. I would go to L.A., San Francisco, New York. I stayed there for a bit, too, in New York. And then I just finished a project in Sydney, Australia.
So you're comfortable with it now, but again, getting over that hump. Tell these people, because this is a relatable, connecting story that you can share with people. It's like they're doing something and they're comfortable, but they're getting bored and apathetic, and they're like they're tired of it. How did you overcome? You went from that's like an extreme introvert to extrovert on a stage.
Yeah, I was the quietest person you can think of, and it's like you have to not be complacent. That's a trap.
Yeah.
For every artist, once you become complacent, I'm comfortable, you know, and even with in the creative realm, speaking in the music industry, if you get comfortable getting like a fan base and whatnot, you get comfortable not to practice. But then you gotta get out of that. You gotta practice every day. So I'll find time to put in time to work on my kicks, my hi-hats, my snares, my bass lines, you know, my didgeridoo.
Give us the didgeridoo.
So if I don't warm that up, if I don't practice that, my voice won't be prepared for the show. So I make sure I warm up before I even hit the stage. You know, maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. You got to put in that work. And a lot of people don't want to put in that work. But the most important thing is you got to want to. You got to want to put in that work.
I can imagine your vocal warm-ups must draw attention. It's a whole show by itself.
Yeah.
It's like an opening act.
Yeah. So,
your vocal warm-ups.
I could be Right, because like it sounds like I'm doing a show sometimes, and I'm just walking down the street practicing.
Yeah.
You know, on my way to my gig, or I could be. Sometimes I'll catch public transit, so I'll be on the bus, and I'll just quietly practice to myself, and then the kids would just come around me.
Right?
They'll come around me. Hey, can we hear that beatbox? And then sometimes I'll challenge them on. I'll say, hey, come on, you do a beat too.
Yeah.
And they get all ashamed and stuff. But then sometimes they actually do it. And then one time, like, we'll just do it. We'll trade beats. But that's the main thing. I mean, I've taught a lot of our youth. And they're now, some of them have families now. It's incredible.
So if we got some leaders out there that are working with kids, what to give them an idea, what would be something that you could, like a program or something that you can come into their school or environment and help with the kids?
Yes. So I do go around schools and I speak. I do motivational speaking. I share them stories of going through tribulations and trials and how to overcome them and to persevere. I encourage them to persevere, because without works, then what we believe in will go to waste, right? So we got to put in that work. And first is believing, but you got to put into action too. And I'm a firm believer about that and put in the work, I mean, even prior to jumping into the music and stuff, I was actually studying full time, and I was working on a degree and stuff. And that's where I kind of first started. I did it in front of my classrooms and classmates. And then just, it expanded my territory.
So
now, have you had any formal training? Like, have you had any coaches, or is this all self-taught?
Oh, so one of the things I was weak at was singing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was very uncomfortable singing because, music came natural, like hearing the instruments and stuff.
Sure.
The beats.
So I took private vocal lessons. So her name is, what's her name? Gosh, I forget off the top, but I took private vocal lessons. And that's when I developed even more beatbox sounds. Because when she would hit the keyboard, boom, I would learn to hold that note. And I didn't know I had high notes. Because as a dude, you want to hit only the bass sounds, the low sounds. So I had a high register too. So as a beatboxer, when I teach my students and stuff, or teach whatnot, I work with range.
Yes.
And it's not just the lows, but I also work on the mids and the highs. So for example, if I were to do a beat, wait. But from the private vocal lessons, I would get stuff like I would hold a high note. Wait. You know what I mean? So like just playing with my vocal cords and stuff. Sorry, I haven't warmed up that part, but
that's okay. It's better than everybody else.
But yes, I did get formal training. I mean, growing up, I tried out the ukulele. I tried what else did I play? Oh, I had a toy piano growing up too. Toy piano. So I messed with that a little bit.
And what does this toy piano sound like?
Like boom, 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 boom. Right? So, but then in middle school in band, I didn't know what instrument to try, so I did tuba. And tuba is very close to beatboxing because with your lips, you gotta go. They call that flubber lips. So, but I didn't. But every time when I would try an instrument, so this was the thing. Whenever I tried an instrument like ukulele, a handmade instrument, I always wanted to go back to the beatboxing. Like I feel like I can sing that instrument. Like my dog has fleas, right? Is ukulele. So I would play around with that. So there's a video I did with my friend Jody Kamisato. He's in LA right now, in the NAM conference, I believe. And so we did a video where he's playing the ukulele and I'm beatboxing. So I teach him how to beatbox and he teaches us how to play ukulele. Well, we kind of use humor in it, but it's on my website and whatnot. So you guys can check it out. Jason Tom.
Website, JasonTom.com?
JasonTom.com. Yep. So I do a lot of fun stuff. I do a lot of fun stuff and yeah, it's just exciting.
Well, hey, listeners, if you're just tuning in, this is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Soul program. We got in the house Jason Tom, and it's easy to get to know and learn more about him. Just go to his website, jasontom.com.
Got lots of videos there.
Yeah, it's Tom, T-O-M. And he's a professional beatboxer. And so if our listeners are out there, if they have some kind of kids organization or they need somebody to kind of, I would bring you in on any kind of events where maybe in the venue, people just want to jazz it up.
Yeah.
Like it could be anything. It could be like a
It's
CPA
so
convention.
Right.
Yeah,
The opening speaker. And today we're going to be talking about the 2018 tax changes. And what that means for your clients in the future. Do you do any like if you press a button and you sound like a man screaming?
Man screaming. Well, I've done stuff where for example, I've done voiceover work, but then within that, I'll do the music too, right?
Yeah.
So I've been working on dialogue more because that's what Michael Winslow does. He does like voiceover work. So for me, he's one of my a lot. I mean, he's actually a
Is
huge.
he at the pinnacle of this beatboxing? I mean, is he a beatboxer? Or is
he's
he
the
just
most
like
well-known one.
I think he's like
human sound effect?
He's kind of like everything, you know. He
Yeah.
does beatbox too, but his specialty is sound effects for sure. But he's influenced all the beatboxers. Like if you're beatboxing and you haven't heard of him, you gotta do your homework, right? Because that's what. I mean, Bobby Mcferrin is a legend too. I mean, I have a DVD of his spontaneous inventions. All he had was one microphone.
Wow.
That's it. And he just used this phone. And I was like, what? And then it's like people came out to see him. I was like, that's what I want to do, is just have one microphone, no machines, and just be pure. I mean, there's people that do loops, right? Loop station like Reggie Watts and whatnot. People have asked me, hey, Jason, have you considered doing loops? And I say, you know what? I could do that. I could do that route. But I'm like a Bobby McFerrin. Yeah. Right? Like, I like to do it just pure, just live.
It sounds more challenging when you're doing it.
It is, because you're doing different layers, because you're doing, like, say, the rhythm with the bass, with the vocals, like Billie Jean, for example, if we're to do. She was polite, beauty queen, the movie scene. I prefer to mind. Do you mean I am the one? Dance. You know what I mean? Like, you're putting it together.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so for people, the listeners who don't know what looping is, it's when they record it.
Yeah.
And it loops around.
And then you're layering them.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of singer-songwriters do that, and then they kind of add a little beatbox, and I'm like, man, if you're going to do beatbox, do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how that's how I feel.
So where will you be performing next? In case our listeners want to go see you live.
That's interesting.
Live
Like,
in
as this
action.
show is happening, as listeners are speaking, listening, is I was supposed to have a show tonight, right, Saturday night, but it just got canceled. But stay tuned to my website, because I'll keep you guys updated. Actually, my upcoming production coming out will be November, December. It's with Prisma Dance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to have a lot of things. It's going to have acrobatics, break dancing. It's going to have ballet. It's going to have poets, I believe. And if they're going to follow that same formula, because we did 2 years ago, it did so well. People said it was up there with Circus du Soleil. Right.
Nice.
And then so I'm going to be in there. I'm going to beatbox. And remember, after we greeted the audience, they said, was that really you? That's awesome. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It told a story. It's called Creation. Creation. It's going to happen in November, December at the Paliku Theater at the Windward Community College. And I recommend people come out to that, because that's going to be exciting. I'm going to be rehearsing it pretty soon once I get the rehearsal dates.
And if they want to get more details and information, they should go to jasontom.com. You know, I had another question for you. TEDx presenter, how did that happen, and what did you talk about?
Wow. So, yes, the first one they had actually in Honolulu, TEDx Honolulu, and that was the year in 2009. It was the first time they had TEDx, because they had TED Talks before that, technology, entertainment, design. And so when they hit me up, they were looking for another group, and they weren't able to get in contact of. So they said, Jason, can you be our entertainment for the E part, right? Yeah. So I said, yeah, sure. So I went. The theme was shift. Okay. And so when
there's no swearing on this show.
No, shift. Shift. SHIFT.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make sure that I translated that well.
Hey, shift happens.
Yes.
It does.
Yes. So when I spoke, basically the quote that I used was, successful people fail more. Mm-hmm. And it's just because it was about like the interviewer, Angela Keene, she asked me, so, doing what you do people make fun of you? Do they, say stuff? And then I say, yeah. I mean, that's cyberbullies, right? Yeah. I mean, that's what they're there for. They're to make fun of us.
The trolls.
So, they're trolls, exactly.
The haters. You gotta go get some haters.
The warriors hiding behind their keyboards.
Right. So I share about, when you do what you love and you're successful at it, you're going to go through that. Yeah. You're going to go through it. And then still to this day, I still get haters to this day. And, the way you respond to them, though, you don't ignore it. I used to ignore it, but then now I just respond to them, and you just be assertive.
Take the higher road.
And you stay at your high level on your response.
Because you believe in what you do. And if you're confident in what you do, you can back it up. So I say, okay, cool. Yeah, all right. Come visit my website, something like that, so...
I look forward to seeing you at my next show.
Exactly.
Come in the front row.
Right, at the sold-out show or something.
Because, when you're in the front row at a beatbox performance, you get a lot of spit on you.
Yeah. So I won't spit at the audience. So. But it's definitely a lot better live because on video it only can capture so much.
It's flat. It's
exactly, because it's recording direct and stuff. So,
and I think too, you must have a different energy level when you're you're feeling the vibe from the crowd.
Yes, because you can hear the surrounds. I mean, the room sound and from every detail from the cup moving and stuff like that, and
just the energy.
Yeah, and you can vibe off of that, and you can play with the audience's energy, and I'll do shows, and then so the TEDx. That happened. The second, because I did it twice.
Oh, wow.
So the second one was in 2011. The theme was something about time. I forget. It's about time. It's about time. So that one, it was the focal groove. So that one, I wanted to speak, but because I wanted to say how the human voice is timeless.
Yes.
And so when a baby is born, when the baby's in the embryo, they hear the heartbeat, right? And when they come out, right?
Yeah.
So the voice is very timeless. So we hear the voice, whatnot. So that was going to be kind of like the platform, and I'll get into the beatbox and then the story. But they just wanted me to perform. So their comments are saying, "Oh, come there's this thing on TED.
Yeah,
he's not saying anything." And but the directors, the producers of TED, they wanted me to just beatbox and let's let it speak for itself. But it's a good video too. I mean, people really enjoyed it. They wrote back and say, "Wow, that's one of my favorite performances of yours," and it's just an honor. It's an honor to represent Hawaii and
do you do impersonations? I think like you do the baby being born.
Yes. So let's see.
You should like slip in like a Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. I do some impersonations.
Hey, when I was born, I was so ugly. The doctor slapped my mom.
Right. And you're very good with your voice because when we met, you did some voice I
told the story.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That reminded me. Poetry Slam. That's where we ran into you. And do you do a lot of that? Is that where you're at?
Yes. I'm a 3-time HawaiiSlam First Thursdays top 12 performance poet. So Grand Slam finalist. So that's the largest competition for poetry slam and stuff. So it's been a while since I've done it regularly, but I'll just go up there. Instead of like spitting words, I'm spitting beats, but I'm telling a story through beats. So it's been very unconventional, and then a lot of poets get upset about it because
you're different.
You have an edge
because I'm
it's entertaining,
right? And I think it's best to stand out. You don't want to be the same. You don't want to do the same because if everyone's doing it the same way, why don't you change it up and just change it? And I like to do, and that's why
entertainment. What is the entertainment? What is the title of the magazine? Variety.
Variety.
It's not the title of the magazine is not do the same thing over and over.
Yes.
It's called Variety Magazine for entertainment, and that's what human beings get attracted to when they go to see something.
Yes. So
it sticks out, and like a moth to the light.
Right. So it's been interesting how I crossed over with that, and just to bring the variety as a beatboxer, what I also bring to the table is I fuse it with not just beatboxing and singing because that's been done before. But I incorporate dance as well. So I incorporate, like as you read in the bio, I'm a moonwalker too. So I do the whole Billie Jean with the dance routine too. So you guys saw it live that night we met, but I also do a dance with it. But the stage didn't have enough room, so
yeah.
So way to differentiate.
Yes.
To stand out.
Yes, and then people love that routine because they're like, "Is he really doing the moonwalk?"
Yeah.
And I'm beatboxing at the same time. So I've done it at the center stage, Ala Moana, all over. So.
Yeah, and that slam poetry, we were talking with the manager of the bar because our friend was there last night, and they said that is the one event. They have live music almost all the time.
Yeah. But
the slam poetry things, it packs.
Yeah, it packs
like
out. Yeah,
full.
I mean, 500 people, or it just packs. It's been around since 2003, I believe.
I didn't realize it was such a big thing in Oahu.
This was before First Fridays in Hawaii. Now they have First Fridays and stuff, but First Thursdays, I remember it started in Chinatown, then it moved all over sorts. So I've seen it migrate.
Gotcha.
So now it's at Hawaiian Brian's and whatnot. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Well, I was going to say, is there any message that you want to leave our listeners with before we bring our show to an end here?
Wow.
soon?
What kind of message should I leave with them?
What was your big, what's your big aha in your life? What do you, I'll give you the Oprah question.
Wow,
what do you know for sure?
What do I know for sure?
Yeah.
As we age, we just never stop learning. And what I realized as I get older is I should have sought after wisdom at a younger age because I'm still learning to this day. Wiser today, but then I feel like only now I've grown. I'm 35 today, and it's just never stop growing, just never stop maturing, and that's very important. So those listeners out there, it's very important. No matter what it is, discipline, work at you're at, continue to learn, continue to grow. Because the moment you stop growing, the moment you stop striving to invest into yourself to learn, is the moment you stop growing. So you don't want to stop.
So would you say that it's very important that we think outside the beatbox?
Yes. Think outside the beatbox.
I love to learn. I mean, I do research a lot, so that's what I would leave with the audiences. You'll never stop growing. So I encourage people to just keep, like Tony Robbins, right?
Yeah.
You guys went out to see him.
Yep.
That must have been exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, I listened to it, yeah.
Well, I'm from Missouri, the Show Me State, so what are you going to show us here? Give us about a 30-second beatbox, and then we're going to tell them about your website. Give us a 30-second little riff.
Boots, cats, boot, 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 cats, cats, with them boots, boots, boom, 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 boom. Dilio. Adrienne Lolly, Team Lolly Radio Show.
All right, awesome.
Wow. All right, so
how'd you know Adrian was a cat lover? You said cats, boots.
Cats, boot.
I love cats. Okay, so you guys can check them out at jasontom.com for more videos and lots of blogging and inspirational messages.
He's so nice. They named him twice. He's got 2 first names, Jason Tom.
All right, so we've got Angelique on the line with her tips of the week.
What you got for us this week, Angelique?
You know, I was going to come in with a beatbox about our coming soon listing.
It's addictive,
but
huh?
You know what? I cannot compete with that right there. So, great job.
Thank you.
So, we have a coming soon listing. It's going to be hitting the market in a couple of weeks. And here's just a little bit about it. It's a single-family home. It's going to be in Mililani, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,640 interior square feet, and it's sitting on a 5,275 square foot lot. So, just a heads up, if you're looking in that area for a single-family home, keep an eye out. It should be hitting the market in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, Angelique.
That's it. Have a great day.
Okay, next up, we've got Miranda with some grand open houses to announce.
Yes, we have some grand open houses this upcoming Sunday. We do have a total of 7 open houses, but 2 of them are grand opens. Our first one is up in Makakilo. So in the gated community of Kumulani, we have one of our luxury listings. And this is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home, custom built. And there's an amazing expansive views of Diamond Head, 3-car garage. There's also, throughout the home, there's high-quality finishes, GE appliances, lots of features. Too many to talk about here, but so come visit the Sunday, 2 to 5. Kimberly will be there. And then also check out the outdoor areas. So there's outdoor kitchen and entertaining area there as well. And then our next one, grand open house, is over on Makalea Loop, 913014 in the Eva by Tiburon. And that home has 3-bedroom, 2-bath with the layout, the kitchen on the main floor. And that will be with Abby. She'll be there to answer any of your questions. And then if you had any questions on the other open houses, you can call our buyer's hotline at 234-4421.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Miranda. All right. Thanks for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Yes, and I want to also thank those that are visit my jasontom.com blog, to Marlena in Romania, also to Maka from Japan, and also shout out to Gail in Mililani. So I just want to shout out you guys for being regular visitors and commenting my blog and whatnot. Thank you guys.
All right. And thank you to our sponsors, Jody Tonga and Derek Tonga, Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley Moriyama of Allstate Insurance.
Nathan Baker of Pillar to Post Home Inspection.
Ben and Tony Mahmood of AAA Roofers Hawaii.
Janice Merlin with Dreamhouse Drafting.
John Speed of Kilauea Pest Control.
Duke Kim Han with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Mike Metz of Kama'aina Plumbing.
Thomas Patterson with Patterson Land Surveying.
Myron Kamihara of Kamihara Law.
If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah, our producer here in the studio.
Chee-hoo.
Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the guaranteed
Sold Program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price and or time frame, we'll have it bought for cash.
Thanks
and aloha.